The Senate must be the one who will concur or ratify the treaty, Mr. President. Talagang mahigpit yung provision ng Constitution. At siyempre, nung hinarap po yan dito sa Senado nung araw, ang luwas po yan, pinag-usapan lahat yan. Makakasama ba yan sa interes nasyonal ng ating bansa? Makakasama ba yan sa seguridad ng ating bansa? Makakadagdag ba yan sa kakulangan ng ating armed forces? Lahat yan pinag-uusapan. At lalo na ngayon, kailangan kasama rin ang Senado sapagkat kung may power to say yes to the treaty, it should have the same power to make sure that we are consulted when they abrogate. Otherwise, we have one-man rule, Mr. President. We cannot have absolutism. Basta sinabi ng Presidente, yan ang patakaran ko. Nakalagay sa Constitution yan. Ilang provisions sa Constitution ang kailangan kukonsultahin ang Kongreso, Mr. President. On the matter of appointments ng Presidente, konsultado tayo lahat sa Commission on Appointments. On the matter of declaring war, Mr. President, kasama tayo lahat dyan. Hindi sila pwede mag-declare ng war, kailangan kasama tayo dyan. At marami pang iba, kung tayo ay mag-declare ng emergency, kasama ang Senado at ang lower house. Now, sa treaty, talagang isinantabi na pagka-treaty, supposedly, Mr. President, and I hope the House does not take umbrage, we are the senior house because we campaign far and wide in all four corners of the country, so we should have a little bit more of experience at dapat seasoned ka na. Hindi ka dapat makarating sa Senado kundi ka seasoned at alam mo lahat ng mga issues. So it's important, Mr. President, that in order to say na ito ay gagawin ng Pangulo, kailangan konsultado talaga ang Senado. Now, Mr. President, alam ko na ang treaty-making power, siyempre, hindi naman makakapag-umpisa ang Senado ng treaty. Kailangan Presidente. That is understood by everyone. Hindi naman talaga uubra na tayo makikipag-treaty. Ang Presidente ang mag-i-engage, ang Executive Department ang mag-i-engage sa tratado. Kaya nga, siya ang Chief Architect. Ang architect, sasabihin niya, makikipag-treaty tayo dito, makikipag-international agreement tayo, pero dapat kasama ang Senado dyan sa bagay na yan. At pag nag-withdraw, serially kasama rin ang Senado. Hindi naman po pwedeng, at kung tayo hindi nagkasundo, lahat ngayon ng hanay ng gobyerno, the executive, the legislative, and now the judiciary will now be involved, which means we are a working democracy where the President does something, we concur or object, and if there is a disagreement, we now go to take the whole full circle of the democratic principles that we have, that now the Supreme Court will be involved. That is why I support this proposal, and I think it's very present on our part, na dapat talagang segundahan natin lahat yung position ng Senado. Besides, Mr. President, tayo ay co-equal branch. Hindi naman pwedeng lalampasan ng Senado na tau-tauhan na lang tayo sa Senado. Hindi naman pwede yan kasi dahil we're not a rubber stamp of anybody, Mr. President. We have to listen to the arguments and we have to make sure we have our say. Otherwise, lalampasan na lang tayo, wala tayong kakibo-kibo. Eh kung halimbawa, lalo na ngayon sa panahon na ito, ang daming issue dito sa West Philippine Sea or whatever way you want to call it. Palaging may bakbaka dyan. Palaging ang kasama natin na malaking neighbor, na paborado ngayong panahon na ito, sa lahat ng gulo kasama sila. Sa Paracels, kaaway nila yung Vietnamese. Doon sa Senkaku sa Japan, territory rin yun, kalaban nila. Sa atin, sa Spratlys, sa Scarborough Shoals, sa Ayungang Shoals, kalaban nila. Hindi ba dapat tanungin muna tayo kung makakabuti yan sa seguridad ng ating bansa bago tayo tumuloy? I say, Mr. President, that we must be consulted because here is where we debate the vital issues of the day. Parang ABS-CBN yan eh. Ayaw ng local government, ayaw ng House na gampanan yung tungkulin nila. Ba't ganun? Nagpipilitan tayo. Malinaw sa Constitution, sa kanila yun. Bakit ayaw nilang malaman ako pro, ako against? Trabaho nila yan eh. Sagutin nila dapat yan. Ganun rin dito. Trabaho natin na pagka may agreement, pupuntahan tayo, at pagkatapos mag-ayaw na ng Presidente, wala na kayo, hindi na kayo kasali. No way, Mr. President. That is very dangerous. We're treading on, tinatawag nating absolutism. Now, Mr. President, nabasa ko yung kaklase ko noong isang araw, si Tony Carpio, retired Justice ng Supreme Court. a fundamental principle is constitutional law is that laws are repealed or amended only by subsequent laws, either expressly or impliedly, due to irreconcilable inconsistency between the prior and later law. This principle is so fundamental that it's not even written in the Constitution, Mr. President. Hindi ka pwede magamit. Now, ang tanong ko sa inyo is, di ba nakalagay sa Constitution, the Philippines adheres to the generally accepted principles of international law, and it means that it's part of the law of the land. A law means a process, Mr. President. Exception ito na makakagawa tayong law, international law, pero kasama pa rin tayo pagka atanggalin yung proseso na yan. Now, Mr. President, nakalagay sa Article 7, the Civil Code of the Philippines, laws are repealed only by subsequent ones. Hindi pwedeng i-repeal na basta, ganoon na lang. Kailangan, it must be repealed expressly by subsequent ones, and their violation or non-observance shall not be excused by disuse or custom or practices to the contrary. Hindi po pwede yan. Para na naman yung franchise doon sa ABS-CBN. Sabi nila, yan ang practice. Pinopromulgate natin, in-extend natin. That cannot be, Mr. President. Ganun rin dito. We cannot say, practice yan, amin na yan. No! Kaya nga nilagay yan sa Constitution para kasama po tayo dyan. I just want to point out, Mr. President, that I stand foursquare with the Senate. We represent the people, and the Senate must be heard. We must find our voices here. And we have voices here, Mr. President. And those voices must be heard because we represent the nation. We represent the people in every nook and cranny that we are expected to speak para magigihan. Pag nag-debate dito yan, lalong maintindihan ng taong bayan kung anong ibig sabihin itong nangyayari dito sa atin ngayon. And so, Mr. President, with that, I again thank and honor our Senate President and all our leaders here in the Senate for being alive and well, of making sure that we are guiding our people in the directions that are important, that we are not going to compromise our national sovereignty, our national territory, and certainly we're not going to compromise the independence of the Senate. And that is important, Mr. President. Thank you very much.